Thank you. In the beginning, the opening narration sets the tone of what's to come, and it warns the audience that it's about to get real. There's a war between an organized imperial power and a rebellious faction. The rivalry is worse than the East Coast-West Coast beef from the 90s. We get thrusted into the middle of the battle that also involves a mass escape of innocent civilians led by rebels. Good news is that some of them are able to get away. The bad news is that the ones that don't get away die instead. The remaining military force do their best to buy time for the evacuation. Time is running out, and in a final act of bravery, a soldier decides to sacrifice one life to save the entire squad. The mission is a success, but it's bittersweet because it cost the Asian lady her life. After the battle, the generals have a meeting to discuss a plan of attack since they're outnumbered. The scaredy cat leader wants to continue running and risking exposure to a devastating attack, while the others want to fight and die to go out like heroes. An unsanctioned mission is created to send some of them to find someone who could help turn the tide of the war in favor of the good guys. The team eventually finds a side character who will help them in their war efforts. Then, the movie gets random as hell and shoehorns an animal cruelty scene in the middle of the mission.
Message!
Now with their ally, the characters decide to go on an undercover mission in order to expose a weakness in the bad guys' defenses. Meanwhile, the evil generals see blood in the water and attack. They lead a two-pronged assault, and although the main commanders aren't attacked, their support troops are. Forget about the cutting the head of the snake analogy, because the Imperial Army cuts the body instead, and this makes the rebels extremely weak. The bad guys start showboating. They start displaying new tactics that spell out how much they overpower the rebels. This leaves the good guys confused, and by the looks on their faces, they're like 2 seconds away from putting in a 2 weeks notice. There's infighting among the commanders as a result, and it looks like the alliance is falling apart like wet toilet paper. One of the evil generals sends one of his subordinates to one of the good guys, and the subordinate plays mind games to trick him or her into surrendering. Unfortunately for the bad guys, the good guys are able to turn the table and trick the bad guys into executing each other. They manage to find the undercover Asian woman in their midst. It doesn't matter though, because they suck at catching people and allow her to escape. Before the battle, the army rallies for a motivational speech, and it doesn't look like it's working. They keep their fingers crossed that a savior will come to their rescue. In the heat of the battle, it seems that one team is stuck with no place to go but a cemetery. It's not nice to kick a man while he's down, unless that man has a kick me sign on his back. The opposing side literally throws all their firepower and shoot up the place like a basketball hoop. If you can't beat them, kill yourself. I've never heard of this expression, but that's what the soldiers try to do. They send out kamikaze warriors. The fire weapon is activated, and it looks like it's a wrap after that. Luckily for the heroes, one of the strongest characters who left them for dead earlier in the movie listens to his conscience and returns to help. The final fight is a sword fight, and they start CEIing, like that one episode on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers where Jason gave Tommy that work. The good guys triumph in the end, and the rebels walk away from the battle decimated, but still hoping for the best. The evil bad guys in the movie are left to wander around the carnage, helpless in preventing the escape. The bad guys triumph in the end, and the rebels run away from the battle decimated. The movie ends with the good guys peacefully discussing their recent adventure. Although they acknowledge that their war is far from over, peace has been established, and a legend will hopefully be born from the conflict. Those are 24 reasons these movies are the same. You agree? Yes, no, maybe so? If not, politely share your thoughts in the comment section below, and click the subscribe button for more 24 reason videos.
Best elevator music I've ever heard.